That is 100% a vehicle. Looks like it's upside down, too.
A white Volkswagen Rabbit left a driveway in 1984 with a woman inside, and both disappeared into thin air. For 41 years, nobody could find them. But here's the twist. They might have been hiding in plain sight the entire time, just 20 feet underwater where no one could look. Barbara Rushton was 45 years old that evening in 1984. She lived in Vestavia Hills, a quiet area of Birmingham, Alabama. She was heading to a friend's house for a card game, something she did all the time. The drive should have taken minutes. It was a familiar route. But Barbara never showed up, and her white 1980 Volkswagen Rabbit vanished with her. Think about how strange this is. A car doesn't just disappear. Someone should have seen something. A crashed vehicle, skid marks, broken glass, anything. But there was nothing. No witnesses, no evidence, no clues at all. Barbara's family waited for answers. Days turned into weeks. Weeks became months, then years, then decades. The problem wasn't that investigators didn't care. The problem was that in 1984, they simply couldn't search everywhere. Specifically, they couldn't search underwater. The ponds and lakes around Birmingham held their secrets, and there was no way to see what was beneath the surface. 41 years passed. But something important was happening in the world of solving old mysteries. Technology was getting better. Much better. Today, special police units work only on cold cases, old mysteries that were never solved. These investigators use computers to map out every possible place a missing car could be. They look at old roads, sharp turns, places where guardrails didn't exist back in the 1980s, and bodies of water near those spots. For Barbara's case, this meant checking every pond, lake, and waterway she might have driven near. Every location had to be searched carefully. The search teams use special equipment called side-scan sonar. It's like an underwater camera that uses sound waves instead of light. It can spot objects on the bottom of lakes. But here's the hard part. Telling the difference between a car and a big rock or a log isn't easy. Everything looks like dark shapes on the screen. One location after another was checked. Some lakes were too shallow. A car couldn't hide there. Others had nothing on the bottom at all. Each empty search meant one less place to look, but still no answers. Then someone came forward with information. A man named Mark used to work for the fire department. He remembered something from many years ago. Near some apartments called Kinley's Apartments, there was a car underwater that firefighters used for diving practice. Back in the 1980s, that area was different. Just a dirt road near the water. The search team decided to check that spot. The sonar screen showed something. Not just one vehicle, two. This is where modern technology really matters. The team sent down an underwater drone, a remote-controlled robot with cameras. It dove into the murky green water to see what was really down there. The first vehicle came into view through the drone's camera. It was old, covered in rust and mud, half buried in the lake bottom. The team carefully looked at the back end. But something was wrong. The shape wasn't right. This wasn't a Volkswagen Rabbit. They moved to the second vehicle. It was flipped upside down, farther out in the water. From a distance, it looked lighter in color, maybe white. Could this be Barbara's car? The drone carefully moved around the vehicle, avoiding fishing lines tangled around it. Finally, it reached the front where the car's badge would be. There it was, clear as day, Chevy 2. The Roman numeral 2 was still visible after all these years underwater. Not a Volkswagen Rabbit, not Barbara's car. Neither car was the one everyone was looking for. You might think that means the search failed. But that's not the whole story. For 41 years, these two cars sat at the bottom of that lake, completely unknown. If someone disappeared in one of those cars, their family would have had no answers, just like Barbara's family. Now, those cars have been found. Police can identify them using special technology that reads vehicle ID numbers even through rust and damage. These cars might solve other missing person cases that nobody even connected to this location. More importantly, this search proves something. What was impossible before is now possible. In 1984, nobody could have found cars underwater like this. Today, it's becoming routine. Every pond that gets searched and cleared brings investigators closer to the truth. Every new technology gets better at finding what's hidden. Every old case that gets reopened has a better chance than it did before. Barbara Rushton's white Volkswagen Rabbit is still out there somewhere. The search isn't over. But now there's something that didn't exist for most of these 41 years. A real way to look. Computer mapping that shows where to search. Sonar that can see underwater. Drones that can identify what's been found. The lakes and ponds that kept their secrets for so long are slowly giving them up. For families who have waited decades for answers, this new technology means something real. Not just hope, but an actual working method to find the truth. And somewhere in Birmingham, Alabama, there's still a white Volkswagen Rabbit waiting to be found. With each search, with each cleared location, with each new piece of technology, investigators get closer. Barbara Rushton and her family deserve answers. Now, after 41 years, there's finally a real chance to find them.